The scale of this predator is beyond comprehension, as its massive body blocks out the entire morning sun.
A single eye opens, reflecting the primal fear of every creature that dares to challenge its ancient reign.
A single breath from the Titan creates a localized hurricane that scatters the local wildlife population right now. Natural light illuminates the terrifying height of the serpent, as it stares down from the high, white clouds. Speed and mass combine into a lethal strike that erases everything in its path with one single blow.
Animal weapons prove useless against armor that has been hardened by millions of years of predatory natural evolution.
The constriction force is enough to crush mountains as the serpent tightens its grip on the stone stronghold.
The sheer weight of the tail destroys everything while the Titan moves silently through the dense tropical forest.
Even the kings of the sky find themselves dwarfed by the vertical reach of this massive terrestrial nightmare. A giant tongue tastes the cold air, detecting the heat of distant prey across the frozen northern plains.
Entering the water, and the Titan creates a massive swell that submerges the surrounding landscape in an instant. Beneath the waves, the serpent moves with surprising grace, despite having a body that spans a full kilometer. Apex predators of the riverbank flee in terror as the true master of the water finally emerges.
Sunlight reveals the intricate patterns of a hide that has survived the harshest conditions of the prehistoric world.
From its high vantage point, the giant serpent observes the lesser creatures moving through the valley floor below.
A single shift in its massive weight triggers a landslide that reshaped the entire mountain pass right now.
The gape of its jaws reveals fangs designed to pierce the thickest hides of the ancient world giants.
Specialized scales provide the necessary friction to move 1,000 meters of muscle up the steepest rock faces.
Coiling for defense, the serpent transforms into a fortress of scales that no other animal can ever penetrate.
Obstacles like thousand-year-old trees are pushed aside, as if they were nothing more than small twigs.
Tropical storms wash over the massive predator as it prepares for the next phase of its long hunt. Even an accidental movement from the tail carries enough force to turn solid granite into fine white dust. The serpent barely fits through the narrow canyon as its massive girth grinds against the ancient rock walls.
Seeking warmth, the giant serpent dips its head into the volcanic springs to regulate its massive body temperature.
By simply resting across the river, and the serpent changes the entire ecology of the valley within several hours.
Scavengers follow in the wake of the giant serpent, knowing that its path always leaves behind plenty of food.
Through the dense morning fog, the golden eyes of the serpent glow with a haunting and primal intensity.
The massive heart of the Titan pumps blood through a body that requires an immense amount of energy.
Smaller reptiles treat the giant serpent as a part of the terrain, unaware of the danger it poses.
A permanent trench is carved into the earth as the 1,000-meter body is dragged across the land.
Ice sheets over a meter thick shatter instantly under the concentrated pressure of the serpent's heavy muscular head. A warning sound echoes through the trees as the scales rattle together during the serpent's complex coiling process. Exhaling sharply, the serpent clears the ground to better track the scent of its next prehistoric animal target. Amidst the flames, the iridescent hide of the serpent glows with the intensity of a flowing lava river.
A symbiotic relationship allows small birds to feed on parasites while the serpent rests its weary, massive head.
The giant serpent leaves a path of destruction through the floral valley as it moves toward the mountains.
Mud and water are propelled high into the air as the massive tail clears a path through the swamp.
The serpent investigates the dark depths of the mountain cave, searching for any creature that might provide sustenance.
Migrating herds must find a way around the living mountain of flesh that has blocked their traditional path.
Highly sensitive receptors allow the serpent to feel the deep vibrations of the earth from hundreds of miles. With a focus that spans millennia, and the serpent locks its gaze on anything that moves within its sight.
Small land masses are no match for the gravity of a creature that weighs several thousand tons of muscle.
Strong bamboo is pulverized instantly under the pressure of the serpent as it prepares a nesting ground area.
Unafraid of the heat, the giant serpent stares into the molten core of the earth with ancient curiosity.
Hot breath meeting the freezing mountain air creates a dense fog that hides the serpent from its prey. Glowing with the light of the deep sea, and the serpent looks like a phantom rising from the abyss.
Perfectly engineered scales allow the serpent to transition from land to the deepest parts of the ancient ocean.
Sharks that are usually the masters of the reef flee as the ultimate predator passes overhead today now.
The unhinged jaw allows the serpent to consume creatures that would be too large for any other predator.
Fragile coral systems are decimated by the sheer force of the serpent's tail as it moves through water.
Under the cover of darkness, the serpent's eye becomes a beacon of light in the middle of ocean.
For a brief moment, the serpent becomes a land bridge, connecting two isolated ecosystems across the blue water.
Hidden in the tall grass, and the serpent's head rises like a silent tower to survey the grazing herds.
The red earth of the desert clings to the serpent, marking its long journey across the dry continent.
Drinking from the mountain falls, and the giant serpent replenishes its fluids after a long and difficult desert crossing.
Boulders weighing several tons are tossed aside by the serpent's tail as it clears a path to water.
Thermal energy from the massive body melts the ancient ice, creating a trench where the Titan now rests. Atmospheric changes are detected by the serpent's tongue long before the first bolt of lightning ever strikes ground.
The giant serpent seems to breathe in the very fire and ash of the earth as it watches.
A sudden silence falls over the forest as every creature recognizes the presence of the world's largest predator.
Even the smallest movements are noticed by a predator that has survived for millions of years of history. A single flick of the tail triggers an avalanche that buries everything in the valley under white snow.
The Titan disappears into the depths, leaving behind a world that will never forget the day it woke.